just wanted to shoot out a note for real estate. There, the market's still crazy. That's the truth. And I won't give the address or the details, but in general, there's a deal that I'm working on a transaction, and just make sure you're working with, the best possible agent you can work with. Because long story short, we did something to help the buyers and sellers. And sorry, this is ambiguous. I will add more once everything is settled and 100% in the books. But it really matters about all the parties in a real estate transaction. And that means the other agent, that means the buyers, that means the sellers, that means the mortgage folks, and whoever does title. We can even throw insurance in there, because this one right now is an insurance matter. We had something unfortunate happen, and I'm representing the seller, and we wanted to help out the buyers. And it's always good to try to make things work and make a true win-win. But in a real estate transaction, and as a professional and an agent, we kind of need to know who we're representing and what we're doing. It's really good to have a win-win and, try to make everything work. But sometimes it's best to take a step back and realize that that's not always possible. And that's a hard pill to swallow, especially for some people that are, genuinely nice and kind and want to help people. I'm going to be the first to raise my hand when that point in time comes. I'm looking out for my clients. And there was an unfortunate situation that happened when we were trying to help the other side of the table and the buyers, and it could have been prevented. And I'll even raise my hand and say, a little bit of this is on me. And I'll add more details. This is extremely vague, I understand, but it's better to say it when it's raw and real and you just go through something. Because if my clients, heeded my advice, we would be in a much better position. And that's, again, not patting myself on the back, not trying to say anything like, look at me. But that's the interesting part about the real estate industry. It's tangible for a lot of people. There's negotiations involved, and people may have that skill set from other industries, other, professional experience, and the actual client may say, thank you for your advice, but I'm going to do what I want to do. And that can be extremely detrimental. And in this case, just putting a number on it, it's about $5,000 that my clients lost for not listening to advice ahead of time, not doing things a certain way. And again, even me not reiterating numerous times that we need to do this. And I'll bring it back to, 2012, 2013. I was helping a friend out from Boeing, and, great house, I believe in Graduate Hospital, yada, yada, yada. We have it under contract, and we were going back and forth about rooftop deck furniture. And it was nice. Don't get me wrong. It was nice furniture, but $1,000. We were really kind of going back and forth over $1,000. And just to put it into perspective, it was like a $450,000 house. So bottom line, $1,000 is still $1,000, but I should have been a little bit more straightforward and said, don't worry about this. 5 months down the road, 5 years down the road, it doesn't matter. And I didn't pull that off. And I let my client make their own decision, which is right, but I wasn't straightforward enough about, what goes on. And the part that pains me the most is 6 months after, we canceled that deal, my client was like, oh, I wish I bought that house. 2 years after we missed out on that deal or we got it canceled, my client was like, I wish I bought that house. So the essence of that is what I try to convey to new clients. Everybody wants to get a win. I get it. But at the end of the day, some of this stuff truly is small potatoes. And if you're going to miss out on a house over small potatoes and then settle for a house you don't like as much, 2 months, 4 months, a year later, it's kind of good to think back and share this. So that is what I wanted to do. And even in this current transaction, I'll give you more details after the fact. It's tough. So I will end this on a good note. Not just myself, but other good agents. And if you really do your research, they can be worth their weight and then some. Just a quick example, won't give any addresses. I recently sold an identical property to another real estate agent. We actually hit the market pretty much at the same exact time. Our pictures were very comparable, I'll say, but nonetheless, I feel, and I don't know this for sure, that my competitor's listing was sold quickly. And it could have been the wishes of the seller. The seller could have said, listen, I want to be over and done with this. That offer came in, let's take it. However, just to put things into perspective, we're talking one house that sold for roughly $270,000 and another house that sold for roughly $310,000. So the same identical house, identical. Theirs might have been even a better. We're talking a $40,000 difference on two identical houses. So again, it could have been the actual seller, the owner, saying, I want this offer, I want to take it, let's be done with it, I got to move on. That's totally plausible. And that may be what happened. But there is just a hard thing to convey to people, especially these days, where real estate agents can more than prove their value, more than bring their experience to a transaction and make it work. And not just make it work lightly. I mean, $40,000 is nothing to sneeze at. So $40,000 difference on the same exact property, just by taking a little bit more time, reviewing probably a little bit more offers, and that's it. And truly knowing the market, because there is still a supply and demand imbalance, I will say, and that's a big deal. And you know what? In the right times with right buyers, looking at our listings or anyone's listings, that can make a big difference, and it did. So again, roughly a $300,000 house, property A, I will say, sold, and property B sold, and there's a $40,000 difference. That's more than 10% of the actual value of the house. So when you're talking commissions, everyone has their different amount. Everything that I charged and then some was more than made up, and that's huge. Not to mention the community that this was sold in. Now we have, I believe, the highest comp ever. So this is the interesting thing in real estate. So again, just to kind of close on that note, make sure you know someone's track record. Make sure you know what their motivation is. Again, I'll raise my hand and say I see it too. Most people treat this as a job, and people work to get paid. Yes, we want to help people, and I'm saying that in the general real estate community, but people have bills to pay. I get it. This is what I said when I got into the industry. So it's just really, really hard to know what's going on behind the scenes. And I try to be, the absolute most transparent person out there. Even during negotiations, if one party sends me something, I'll take a screenshot of that text message and send it to the other party, just to be overly transparent. And, those things and other things can truly make a difference. And that's it. Just wanted to say I'll add more notes to this to let you know about the current transaction. And that one I just spoke about is, $40,000 on a $300,000 house, is massive. So I think that's long enough. Any comments, questions, feel free to reach out. And thanks for watching.